noise is going to be quite horrendous. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm currently looking at Hartlepool Power Station, which will be relevant in a few moments as I explain. Now I'm going to pan round 360 degrees. We're looking now towards Paddy's Hole on South Gare, towards Hartlepool, which is where I did intend going, but the private road which I would have to access unfortunately is shut once a year just to establish that it is a private road. It happens to be today. Right up on the end of the skyline there I'll be seeing Karoo. Come round to the wind turbines in a minute. So these are the wind turbines off Redcar. As I continue to pan round, not only will you get the noise from the wind, but you'll get the wave noise as well. But it is a fairly calm day today. As we continue around, second Redcar will come into view, and the cliffs standing up above Redcar. The cliffs just beyond Saltburn. So we're a bit exposed to the wind here, so we're going to get a bit of wind shake as well. I zoomed in as far as I can go. Anyway, if I bring you around, completely round, coming into view, very shortly it'll be the hills above Eston and Lazenby, where I spend a lot of my time, and you can just see the emissions of water vapour from around about the Wilton chemical site. Now we've got the dunes in the foreground and the chemical works in the middle, and beyond that we've got Eston Hills. Come round further, just see a vehicle there on that road I wanted to go down on, but I was turned back because I didn't have official permission. It's just once in a year it's shut like that, just to establish it is in fact a private road. We come round now to the defunct blast furnace, which is a shame. Sat there idle, has been for 3 years, so they're not going to restart that thing back up. So there's the blast furnace itself just coming into view now. That's your 360 all the way back to Hartlepool Power Station. Now then, to get out of the wind, I'm just going to drop down into the dunes. It's down there somewhere. I'll put my dinner on and then I'll explain why I'm here. Colin of Sperrin Outdoors. This is all your fault. What's happened is I've been tagged by Colin of Sperrin Outdoors, the Irishman from the Ireland of Ireland, on the Series 6. And for those who don't know what that is, it's what would you do in a what is it? I've got some notes here. Yeah, TF situation. You all know what that is, don't you? Without swearing. If it hit the fan, what would you do? So, it's took a long time because I've been doing other things and I don't like being tagged. Forces you to do stuff, doesn't it? Anyway, so first question in these Series 6 is what scares you the most? And that's between nuclear war, I presume, or I showed you the Hartlepool power station. That's a nuclear power station. What if that went up like Fukushima, eh? And the wind was blowing towards us? We were downwind of it. Well, you'd have to leg it pretty smartish, wouldn't you? But it doesn't keep me awake at night. A biological, I presume that means warfare, or accidental, as has been in the case in the UK recently, with that nerve agent. Natural, well, we see plenty of them, earthquakes, tsunamis. We haven't had a disastrous meteor strike yet, but you know, one could be on the cards at any time. Economic collapse, well, we've got Brexit coming up, and the French are not too happy at the moment, are they? Then you've got EMP, well, that goes with nuclear, the electromagnetic pulse. That would shut down a lot of your electrical equipment. And then you've got spiritual and cultural uprising or upset. So what do I fear most of them? Well, I don't fear any of them. I'll take the situation as it is, and I'll do the best in whatever situation I find myself. So I wouldn't say I fear them, but one that is concerning me more than probably most of those at the moment, because I'm experiencing it at work quite a bit, is artificial intelligence and surveillance and the control of us by computers. That could get out of hand at some point. So I would move that to the top of the list, but I'm not overly worried about any of them. I don't come out and practice outdoor skills because of any of that. I do it because I think we're losing touch with the outdoors. So that's why I come outdoors, brew up. So question 2 then. What do you have as currency in an economic collapse? To be honest, I'm sufficiently independent that if it was an economic collapse and the place went to, you know, then I'd just have to do the best I could from what I could find around me. I can go a long way on a bicycle in a day. I can do my shopping on a bicycle. Mind you, I might not have any money, but nobody else might either. I think it's wise just to keep a little bit of money on hand, just in case you've got something like a power cut and they all tell you to leave your shopping and leave the store because they can't use the tills, and you've got to go somewhere else. You can't use your card, and you can't go and get any money out, and that might just happen for a day or two. So it's daft not to have any money. You know, just enough to go and fill your car up, get some food, what have you. Currency in a situation like that I would consider as work, a day's work, to be able to use tools, to be able to fix things, first aid. I'm a first aider at work. I've got a lot of first aid experience, not through my current job, although I've got a little bit through my current job, but more from jobs previous to that.
So that's one thing that would come in handy in a earthquake or tsunami situation. Very important. It's independence, really, a bit of independence. So we won't get overly excited there. Right, number 3 then. In an SHTF scenario, would your mindset be to dig in or to bug out? Well, that would depend on the situation, wouldn't it? If we wouldn't get told, but if we knew there was a smallish asteroid coming our way, then we'd have to clear off. If we just heard on the radio that Hartlepool power station had blew its roof off and the wind was coming in our direction, then we better shift pretty smartish. But otherwise, if you've got a community and you know enough people in it and you think you can, you know, potter on, like if they were going to switch the electricity off in Sark, which is what they were going to do a couple of days ago. I think they've sorted it out now. Everybody just fell back onto the Second World War mentality, or those that can remember it anyway, and dig in and make the best of it. There's my fire gone out. Oh, my fire's gone out. So, if I had to leave, and it would depend on the situation, wouldn't it? I mean, if it was total chaos, then you might want to find somewhere a bit secluded where you could just get your head around things for a bit. But you know, there are other people to take into consideration. A lot of people are taking this, I think, as if they were the only people involved, but you know, some of us have family and things, might have livestock. You might not want to leave them. So if I could, I would stay. If I had to, go. So that's number 3. Number 4, what environment would you prefer to be in? Urban or, I've put rural down here, but rural's pretty urban, isn't it? Wilderness. It would depend on the types of people that were around. I mean, if you suddenly decide to go, if you have reason to suddenly decide to go to the wilderness, then perhaps there's a lot of other people who also are forced into the same decision. So you might not find yourself in such a wilderness after all. However, having said that, I'm just showing me fire lighting skills here. I'm showing how windy it is as well. Bag goes out. There we go, we might have got it. Right, so what are we up to? What environment? Well, I can survive in a harsh environment, I have done. So if for some reason I had to get away from people, it would be as harsh environment as I could survive in, but that's not what you want, is it? That's not the way you want to live your life. So it would be urban at least, but not wilderness, unless it had to be wilderness. I mean, I couldn't survive in the wilderness, be quite happy in the wilderness, but getting on a bit now. Got to consider that, you know, getting on a bit. It's not for the faint-hearted getting on. I'm fit at the moment, but I can see the way things are going. So again, would depend on the situation. Okay, so what are your 3 strongest skill sets? We've got somebody, I might have to cut off in a minute, we've got somebody coming up. Well, there would be patience, persistence and a positive attitude, if you would count them as skill sets. If you don't count them, it would be first aid, the ability to botch it, although modern cars, modern vehicles nowadays, they're hard to botch, aren't they? You know, you could soon knock up a structure to live in. You watch on TV, I mean, I know they're psychologically affected, but you get earthquakes and you get people sat there and you've got building material all around them. I know, you know, they're probably injured, in shock, they've lost relatives and stuff like that, but if you're not injured, you're in a good place in a disaster situation. So, and because I feel as though as long as I wasn't injured I could reasonably well look after myself, then I don't need to go selling my skills as such. So it comes to the last one, which is obviously tag 3 people, but I'm not going to tag 3 people because off the top of my head I don't know 3 people to tag. Well, I do, but I don't want to put them on the spot. So if you've got less than 1,000 subscribers and you want to contribute to this as a result of this or my video, let me know and I'll comment back, and you can tell me I'm an idiot if you want, that's alright. And it's been fun thinking about it. It is the sort of thing you should think about, but you should also think about the little things like illness. Is it worth getting a flu jab? Getting knocked off your bike? Should you get some brighter lights or some better visibility? You know, a jacket or something? Because the unexpected will be unexpected. You know, are you going to find out you've got kidney damage because you've been drinking too much, or are you eating the wrong food, or are you not, you know, not getting fit, or just spread it wider, is what I'm saying. There are lots of things to worry about. I don't think a nuclear warfare or imminent economic collapse comes to the top of my priorities, but they are things to keep in the background, but not to concentrate on exciting things, if you like, to the detriment of everyday living. So that's my take on it anyway. And I think my coffee is now ready, so I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll be back in the outdoors as soon as I can. But life is so exciting, I keep on saying, life is just so exciting, you just cannot fit it all in. So sometimes I spread myself too thinly. Anyway, leave it there, and I wish you all the best.